Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Mouseketeer known as Stevie, and beside me is my co-host, the all-knowing crown jewel of Disney fandom, Cameron. We are just two dads raised on the mouse, here to give you tips, tricks, news, and overall entertainment for all things Disney. So turn us up in your pumpkin carriage, or maybe you're watching us on a magic mirror. But either way, we invite you to be our guest for an episode of Dadventures Around the Kingdom. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for another episode of Dadventures Around the Kingdom. I'm having a great day. Cam, are you having a great day?
Having a great day, my friend. I know we're only 5 episodes in, but I'm really excited for this episode. This is the one I think I've, thought we do a lot of, notes and stuff before we do these episodes. This one,
Yeah.
I put a lot of time and effort for it. I was going back and forth. I was texting you at almost midnight that, hey, I can't do this one thing. We'll explain. If you're reading the episode title, you know what it is, but we'll explain what we're going to be doing in this episode in a little bit. But my gosh, I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a great episode to really show off our creative side. I haven't stayed up late for this topic that we're going to do today. I haven't stayed up late like this since college doing homework.
I was stressed about this because I was I need Stevie to be I don't know. Let's talk about what our topic is, I guess. We're going to be doing Imagineering in this episode, okay? So it has been, ever since I was a little kid, I've done armchair Imagineering at my house where I would design ride, not design, but at least come up with ride ideas and restaurant ideas and show ideas. And that's what we're going to do in this episode, but we're going to focus it one park at a time. So we're going to do Magic Kingdom this month, and then we'll do either Hollywood Studios, Epcot, or Animal Kingdom in I think we're going to do every other month. I think we're going to do, so have one of these episodes where we'll talk about a specific park. But I've been doing this since I was as long as I can remember, at least since my second trip to Disney, when I really fell in love with Disney when I was 7. I've been doing this nonstop in my head. I think about this just when I'm at work, when I should be doing work things. I'm just daydreaming, Imagineering on this stuff. So man, I'm excited about this to share my ideas with the world. I am a little nervous. I hope you like this idea, Stevie. I don't think you're going to be blown away by this, because I don't think you're the target audience for this ride that I came up with. But I'm proud of it. I put a lot of work in this thing.
I think I'm gonna knock your socks off with my ideas.
I think you're gonna have some crazy stuff. But I'm excited. I'm excited to do this. Let's do our topics. Should we head to our Mouseketeer moments?
Yes, let's jump into our Mouseketeer moment. So Cam, kick us off with your Mouseketeer moment.
Yeah, so this week I met with a bunch of my fellow travel agents that work for the company I work for, Remember Me Vacations. Next month in July, we're going on a mini conference, learning development extravaganza within the company. So it's going to be really cool. So we're heading down to Walt Disney World. I'm going to get a couple park days. So I get there on Wednesday night. Thursday, I'm going to do a little bit of Epcot, and then we have a dinner and a firework boat cruise to see the Magic Kingdom fireworks. So I'm super pumped with that. Friday, we're going to be in the classroom learning a lot about growing our travel agent business and Disney experiences and stuff like that. Saturday, while everybody else goes to the Disney park, I'm going to be going to Epic Universe, which I'm super excited about because I've been to Disney so many times. To grow my travel agency business, I want to get some more Universal experience. So I'm going to Epic Universe. And then Sunday, we're going to follow it up with a team breakfast, and I'm going to probably try to hit Hollywood Studios. But what I was really excited about is we met on Tuesday over Zoom, and it just got me really excited and invigorated for my little side hustle and travel agency, and excited to meet all these people. I've met a couple people because some of them live up in Massachusetts, but we have some travel agents that live in Arizona that I've only met via Zoom or whatever we've used in the past, Teams. So I'm really excited to meet these people in person. They're all Disney sickos like me, so that's going to be fun to be amongst my nerds, amongst my people. And it's got me really invigorated and excited that there's less than a month until I leave to Disney, so it's gonna be great. But what was your Mouseketeer moment, CV?
Well, I just wanted to jump on to what you're saying. 2 things. One, when you say Remember Me Vacations, would it be too much to ask that you bring out your Ernesto de la Cruz and sing it?
That is where the name comes from Coco, which is very funny. Like if you look at the Remember Vacations website, you're going to see a lot of Coco motifs in there. I do not have that impersonation. I think if I had an impersonation, that might get me canceled because I am not Hispanic. But so I won't bring that one up. But I like that you connected that it is Remember Vacations is with Coco. So that's
all right. All right. Well, the other thing that I was thinking is what I'm pumped about is when you do come back from your trip. We might have to have an episode just to kind of go over your review of Universal. So it's one of those, Lion King kind of moments, like everything the light touches. And then Cam is in the shadows.
Yeah. No, I'll
So
be in the
we're gonna have
graveyard
to.
of Universal. No, it's gonna be really cool. Epic Universe just opened up in May, so to like at heart, like I'm a Disney guy, but I'm just a theme park junkie and nerd. So like it's just so cool to me to be able to say I'm going to a brand new theme park, and we're not talking about like a Six Flags or anything like that. We're talking about a legit theme park with unbelievable IP that Universal has. So to say I'm going to go to this theme park year one, and I know it's going to in years from now, Epic Universe is going to be even bigger and grander because there's tons of room for expansion. But I'll be able to always say I was there year one when it was these four worlds in Celestial Park, and that's good, like a really cool little. I don't want to say an honor because nobody cares, but I care. So it's like really exciting for me to be able to say that. Like I'm jealous of people that were able to say they were there for the first year of Magic Kingdom or Epcot or Disneyland, all that stuff. I'm gonna be able to get to say that for Epic Universe, which by all accounts seems like it's gonna be the next great thing in themed entertainment. So I'm very excited for that. Yeah. So even though it's not Disney, we might take a little side quest detour to talk about Epic Universe and as well as the rest of the trip, honestly, too, because I'm going to be going to, I'm staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge for the first time in like 7 years kind of thing. So I'm super excited to go there. The new test track is going to be open, so I'm going to be doing that. I'm going without my daughter and my wife and my parents. This is the first time I've ever gone solo to Disney. I know I'm going with the fellow travel agents, but like
Ham's running loose.
it's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be definitely an adventure. I'm sad. Like it does hurt me inside that I'm not gonna be there with my wife. I'm not gonna be there with my daughter. I'm not gonna be with my parents because those are the people I've always gone with. Besides one other time when I went with my best friend.
To say that. Disclaimer: he has to say that.
Like
or else,
I'm being honest.
Lisa might
moment right
might
now.
Cancel him.
Musketeer moment. After the meeting, I did cry a little bit. I was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna go to Epcot and I'm gonna go through the Moana attraction probably, and Kylie's not gonna play in the water, so that makes me really sad. So I probably will just skip it because I don't want to be sad when I'm at Disney. But it'll be good. I'm excited. But yeah, we'll definitely have to talk about it in a future episode.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, my Mouseketeer moment this week, it was really just the final touches. So it's my daughter Jasmine's birthday this weekend, and so we are having a full water fun Minnie Mouse themed party. So I'm really pumped to do all of that. I mean, she's getting so tall. She's getting so old so fast. So it's going to be amazing to see. But really, and I know Cam, you've talked with my wife about this, the topic of conversation in my house currently has been Disney Vacation Club.
Listen, I think, so I brought Katie back to our house because you went to pick her up from work the other day. It was like a 45-minute drive, and I think 42 of those minutes we're just talking DVC. The other 3 were talking about bad day at work, but the other 42 we were talking DVC. I'm telling, hey, Google Riviera points chart, Google this, Google that, so she can see while I'm driving the car. She's seeing the breakdown. Yeah. I'm talking her through everything. You've been texting me. That's what sucks. I'm a travel agent. I get commissions on sales. I don't get anything per DVC kind of thing. But listen, Disney, hire me. I'll sell your DVC packages because I was talking Katie up. I was talking you up. It's been very funny.
We have been. I know originally I was a little against the DVC mainly because I was thinking to myself, I don't know if I want to go to Disney every year. I don't know if for me it would start to lose some of its luster. But then I started looking into it more, and really the idea that once I noticed that there's a lot of like you can borrow points and you can bank points. Mm-hmm. Personally, what I want to do is if I could go to Disney every other year, for me, that's perfect.
You do that.
So I've been looking at everything as far as the points go and all of that. And it's definitely something that is on the fridge right now in our house, and we are talking about it. But
And
I
don't get me wrong,
think,
it's stupid huge investment. But
yeah,
like, I'm a Disney sicko. Like, we need to make shirts that say that. I think that's gonna be funny. But like for me, like, yeah, it was big sticker shock. It was a heavy investment up front. But like now I'm guaranteed to go to Disney almost every year for the next 50 years. We're kind of basically doing that where we'll go for 2 years where we try to get 2 or 3 uses out of an annual pass. And then like 2026, I'm not expected to go to Disney World at all, which makes me sad. But I just went twice in 2024. I'm going twice this year in 2025. Between my trip with the travel agency next month and then when we went in March for my daughter Kylie's second birthday.
yep,
So 4 times in 2 years, like that's pretty freaking good. You know what I mean? And I'll skip
yeah,
2026, but then we'll get 2 or 3 uses out of 2027, 2028. And it's because we can do that banking and borrowing of the points and all that good stuff. So yeah, and it gives us a chance to, me and Lisa's, one of our goals is to explore the whole country. We want to hit all 50 states as a couple. I think we've only done like 10 so far, if that. So it gives us that
okay,
opportunity where, yeah, we're not spending money on Disney this year because we're going to, a couple of years ago, we did Arizona as that trip. We might do Vermont in a couple of years or Pennsylvania next year. We're still figuring that stuff out, but it gives you that flexibility to
yep.
do that stuff.
Yeah, so yeah, it's definitely something that we're talking about. It's definitely something that we are very interested in. But I
Just me and
think as of
Stevie and
right
our Disney
now,
Vacation Club dad polos. Oh, it's gonna be great.
I think at the moment, our plan before committing to a DVC, because it is a big commitment, big investment, is I think we want to add a second and final Mouseketeer to the clan
That's fair.
before we make that investment. But it is something on the horizon, something that we are thinking about.
Love
So,
that for you both.
but with that, now we are going to jump into our second segment, the one that everybody loves, News with Cameron. Cam, what do you got for news today?
Yeah, so honestly, a little bit of a light week, but still some pretty good news. So this news story was like last minute. We really added this to the news section on our notes. But we are recording on June 26th, which is otherwise known as 626 Day, because June 26th. If you're listening to this podcast, I would hope you know this, but 626 is Stitch's experiment number, experiment 626. So it's like an honorary Stitch day. And today, Disney announced that they are already in development for a sequel to the live action Lilo and Stitch. They're going to make Lilo and Stitch 2 live action. I think I'm the biggest Stitch fan in this podcast, and I still haven't seen the first live action yet, which just that's what happens when you have kids. It's tough to get to the movie sometimes, but I'm going to see. I love my boy Stitch. They're already on Stitch 2. Very excited. I even to ask you to spoil something like. Do we get any of the other experiments? Because as much as I love Stitch, Ruben is my boy. Like I love that guy. Sandwich skills are on the max. I need him in this next movie. Along with all the other cousins and stuff like that. Like just make I can't wait for Lilo and Stitch 50 one day, where we're just doing basically the TV show in a movie form live action. That's what I want. It'll be great.
Yeah, I mean, I know when I got home from work today, because I leave the TV on for our dogs. For those that don't know, we have two little golden terrier mixes, and I leave the TV on just so that way they're not listening to sounds going on outside and just barking out of the window all day long. And when I got home, it was on Disney Channel, and it's been an all-day marathon of the Lilo and Stitch show, which
Fantastic.
I have not watched in years.
Yeah.
But I thought that was really cool. And then on Instagram, I saw that Captain Gantu, Stitch, and
Dr.
Angel, Dr. Hamsterville were all at Tomorrowland at Walt Disney World for 626 Day. And I actually, just before recording, I finished doing a little bit of shopping because on the Disney Store, they had a huge sale across the site for 626 Day. So I'm pumped. As far as the live action goes, I have seen the movie. I loved it. People have mixed reviews on the ending of it, but I think it works really well. Side note, for a lot of people, when it comes to live actions, I think it's fair to say going from animation to real life is difficult. And I know we have these stories that we love, that we grew up with, but you have to understand sometimes you have to make some adaptations to make things work, or else some of these movies aren't pretty much Disney can't afford to make some of these movies if we're going to keep all of the CGI and all of the animation, and it's a lot. But I thought Lilo and Stitch was great. The storytelling, the acting, the minor changes that they made, I thought it fit the story really well. So I'm pumped that they felt so highly about it so early that they decided to make another one.
Yeah, that's what shocked me. Was it literally is so soon they're announcing that this was in development, and like they probably had this in development for a little bit now. They probably knew this movie's gonna slap. This movie's gonna be a box office hit. It was. So yeah, very excited for Lilo and Stitch 2. Still need to see Lilo and Stitch, the first one, but not the animated. I've seen that millions of times, but the live action one.
Yeah.
But yeah, next news story. I'm going to put a big asterisk, huge caveat on this. I did not want to do this story. Okay, I didn't want to tell it but I feel like I have to do it because it was a big news story. It even made it onto People. It's a dumb news story because it means nothing long run. But I'm going to say it anyway. But I'm going to explain what's going on here. So, it's been reported that a 2045 comprehensive plan from Disney about Walt Disney World was approved by the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District that explicitly reserves space for the development of one new major theme park in Disney World, which will be along the same scale of one of the existing Walt Disney World parks with a projected area of 400 to 550 acres, and two additional minor theme parks. Is in a water park or maybe something else a little smaller, taking up about 147 acres over the next 20 years. So this comprehensive plan is good, and Disney is allowed to build, like I said, one large theme park and or two smaller theme parks. They can do all three, whatever the combo they want to do, by 2045. The fifth major theme park, because again, Disney has 4 major theme parks, so the fifth gate could only be allowed to be built starting in 2035. But they have until 2045 to add these. So this sounds really cool. It's like, oh my God, Disney is planning to add a fifth gate. Not necessarily. This is why I hate this news story. This happened years ago too. In 2010, Disney had basically the same comprehensive plan, right? So Disney is not saying we're building a fifth park. It's just they need to get approval that, hey, down the line, if we ever did want to do this, legality-wise, there needs to be a development plan in place before it was Reed Creek Improvement District. Now it's the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District to say, yes, we can build this theme park. That's all it is. They had this in 2010, and they have not even touched a fifth theme park. Maybe in behind the scenes they're working on stuff, but there's never been an announcement for it. It means nothing. At the long run, it could mean something, but it could ultimately mean nothing. So like people getting super excited. Disney did not announce they're doing a fifth gate. Nothing like that even came close to happening. It's just that legality-wise, if they wanted to, they have till 2045 to build this. And if they don't, guess what? In 2045, they can do the comprehensive plan for 2065 and say the same thing. Get the approval from the central, whatever, the Central Orlando, blah, 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 district, blah, 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 development thing, to build a fifth gate in the next 20 years by 2065. So at the end of the day, this could mean nothing, but I didn't want to not share it because if somebody is in the Disney news, they're going to be like, well, I didn't even talk about the fifth gate because the fifth gate might not be a thing. So just chill.
Yeah. So it sounds like one of those, like when you're working on if you're getting work done around your house or something like that, it's like we're getting the permits in case we decide to remodel the bathroom, but we're not sure if we're going to do it yet. But if we decide to, we know, hey, we could break ground. We're fine. Won't be an issue.
That's all it is. It's just to get rid of red tape. That's all it is. Again, would I love the fifth gate? Absolutely. But I'm not holding my breath for this at all. No one announced a fifth gate. That did not happen. So if you're hearing that, you're being lied to. You're reading things wrong. It's just not a thing. Maybe in the future it will be, but they're not going to do this on a random. I think it came out on Tuesday. This is going to be a major announcement at like a D23 event or something of that sort. Not on a People magazine post. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, true. I mean, Disney, can you please just do us all a favor and just take full control of Florida? From the social media that we see coming out of Florida, Disney is the shining moment. of that whole state. I'm
I don't know.
sorry for any listeners
There's some
that
people
are
that go
in
to Disney.
Florida, but Disney itself, you got Disney has. I think I looked at it. Disney has 3 postal codes. I think 2 area codes. It's like the Buena Vista area is so big. Just keep expanding. Conquer Florida. Do us all a favor. We have Disney World. Give me Disney Universe. Just take everything. That's what I want to see.
Steve's just being selfish. Don't take Universal. I really want the Universal parks. I want Harry Potter. I want Jurassic Park. I want Super Nintendo World. Don't leave those alone, Disney.
Take everything around it.
Yeah. Just eminent domain around it.
Just a full chess match, and it's just like, you know what? This is the line where when you cross this street, you're in Universal's country. When you cross this, you are in Disney World land. So figure it out, Disney. Take over.
All right, next story we got. It's a sad one, unfortunately, but it's kind of what we expected. Disney Pixar's Elio had a catastrophic opening weekend at the box office. The film, which accordingly to reports, cost at least $250 million to make and market, and that's coming from the New York Times numbers, only brought in $21 million in the U.S. and Canada during the opening weekend. So the opening weekend includes the Thursday night preview, because basically every movie now, if they announce a Friday release date, it's mostly coming out on Thursdays now, especially for these bigger movies. So it includes the Thursday night, like nighttime showings, all day Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 21 million domestically for US and Canada. The film is getting rave reviews, just absolutely great reviews. I have not seen like one negative review yet, and I've been looking. But it's just not coming out in the end with the box office numbers. I do feel bad because I was not part of this box office opening. I do want to see it. I want to support it. It's just tough, man. Like me and Lisa are trying to buy a house, and even if we weren't, like, things are just expensive right now. Like, I get why families aren't going to this movie. I get why families are going to, like, and I was kind of complaining about this last week when we were talking about Elio, but like, no, and then I sat down and thought about, like, yeah, I get why people are spending money to go see a sequel, because they know, hey, my kids love these characters. That's when we're gonna go invest $80+ just for tickets for my family of 4 to go to this movie, plus the $10 for a medium popcorn now and all this stuff. Like, it's a huge expense. You're not gonna make that like payment towards something you don't know how you're going to react to it, how your kids are going to react to it. You're going to go to those comfort food things, especially when you are, like I said, for a family of 4, you're dishing out over $100 once it comes to tickets, snacks, all that other stuff. And even for me, like, my wife's not a big movie person. Our daughter's too young to go see a movie in theaters right now, but I love going to the movies, and I just haven't really gone since the pandemic, and it's because how expensive everything's gotten. Like, I used to have, the AMC Premiere Pass thing. I used to have the I think, I forget, Red Ticket, whatever the heck that ticket thing was called, where you could still see a bunch of movies a month thing.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
I'm forgetting. I almost said Redbox, but that's not what it is. Regardless, now I don't do it because I have a kid, so I don't go to the movies as often. But I would love to go see some of these in theaters, but like, I'm just not going to, because guess what? In July, there's 3 movies I want to go see in theaters, so I'm not going to go spend money to go see Elio when I really want to go get that big box office experience, seeing the new Jurassic World, seeing Superman, and then of course seeing Fantastic Four in July. So I budget wise, you just have to pick and choose your battles, and Elio wasn't one I wanted to do, and I get why other people don't, especially if you are someone like our age that does want to go see those hits. Like, I grew up watching Jurassic Park. Superman's my favorite DC superhero, probably a top 3 superhero in general. Marvel, I'm a big, I'll ship everything Marvel basically, and I've loved the Fantastic Four since I was a little kid too, so I'm excited to go see that reboot, and how that reboot that's not a Canadian reboot, and see how that's going to go. And something had to give, and for me it was Elio, and it is what it is. But if this was Frozen 3, you bet your butt I'm going to be in the seat opening night, because I know and trust those people making those movies, and I love those characters, so I'm going to go see it, for better or worse.
Yeah,
so I get it, but it sucks.
Yeah, I definitely get that. I know for me, like, I do want to see this movie. With Disney in general, I think what's tough is it stemmed from the pandemic. I know for me, the pandemic, I learned one important thing about myself. I hate being around people. Just the idea of, oh, I don't need to go to the movies. Let me just wait a little bit. It'll be on Disney Plus. Then I can watch it in the comfort of my own home. I can sit on my couch. I can rewind. I can pause. I can do all this great stuff. To be completely honest, I didn't mind. I don't know how much money Disney was losing, but I didn't mind the model of, for some of these newer movies, like I think like Lost World and whatnot. Hey, we're gonna put this on Disney Plus. If you want to watch it the first month or so that it comes out, uh, I think Red Panda was like this. You pay something like $20. Obviously, that's a lot cheaper than if you go to the actual movie theater because of the price of the movies, like you said. But a lot of people want to watch it at home, and I get that. I am one of those people where there are some movies where I'm like, oh, this actually looks interesting. I'll wait till it's on Disney Plus so that way I can watch it. And then I get super excited when I see those messages on Instagram or on social media that just say, hey, August 15th, this movie is going to be on Disney Plus now. And I'm like, oh, perfect. Babe, let's watch this. Like, we still haven't gotten around to it just because of our daughter, but I'm interested in seeing Moana 2. I haven't gotten around to it. I knew I wasn't going to see it in theaters, but once they said it was on Disney Plus, it instantly got added to my watch list.
Yeah.
But then on the other side of things, my other issue with this is a lot of times, like you said, with sequels, you know the franchise, you have an idea of what you're getting, you know what to expect when it comes to specific franchises. But when it's a new movie, I feel like Disney doesn't put their best foot forward when it comes to marketing these new movies as much. The Ilio movie, I think I said it last episode, when they had the first time that I saw it, I think it was back in late November, early December. They had like a little trailer for it. It didn't really explain much about the premise of the movie. You just kind of knew that it was aliens and a kid, and that was really about it. But then I know I'm a big basketball person, so I'm watching the playoffs and everything like that, and there was no mention of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I get it with some of the bigger titles like Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts was everywhere.
Yeah.
The Thunderbolts Wheaties box was out before the movie was out. Like, they were doing so much marketing. You go into a supermarket and if Disney's really backing a movie, the character is on a bag of Oreos. They're on a bag of chips. They're on Lay's potato chips. They might be on a Gatorade bottle. But for this movie, there really wasn't any promotion until maybe about 2 or 3 weeks before, and then it was like, oh, now we're getting the Burger King toys. Now we're getting the commercials for it, and it's like it's a little too late because there's a lot of people that I know. My mom doesn't have cable anymore. She doesn't watch TV like that. And some people don't really watch cable like that anymore. It's all streaming services. It's Disney Plus, Hulu, HBO Max. How are they going to know that this movie is around when you're not really pushing it as if you were for a Toy Story 5? You're going to put your best foot forward for a Toy Story 5 or a Frozen 3. But these movies that you want to get off the ground, it's almost you're setting them up for failure because you're not giving them the support that you're giving some of your other movies.
Yeah. I mean, and look at like Elemental, I don't think did well in box office either. I haven't watched it in a little bit. If I gave that another rewatch, I could see a world where Elemental is like a top 5, top 7 Pixar movie. Like, I loved that movie when I was watching it. But I didn't go see it in theaters, and I don't know a lot of people who did. But I would kill for like a Wade and Ember like meet and greet at Disney World. I know they have the costume characters. I've seen them. I think they had them at Disneyland even for like a Pixar whatever they did last year. I
think I saw
Pixar
them in
Fest or something.
Tokyo.
Yeah, but like
had them.
I would love them to bring that to Disney World just because that's like my quote unquote local park, even though it's down in Florida and I'm up in Massachusetts. But but it's not going to happen. I just know it's not going to happen. So it's just nice.
Yeah.
But sad.
Yeah.
Please go see Leo if you can. And like I said, but even if you can't, what am I to say? Go see it. I didn't even see it. So like, I also get like the whole like you got to save money. The economy's crazy.
Yeah.
Right now. Like so, see it on Disney Plus at minimum. Give it some love eventually when you can afford it and when it's the most convenient to you. Like that's how I'm probably going to end up watching it because like I said, I'm probably not even going to see Jurassic Park in theaters because like. Am I really going to spend $20 3 times in July for movies? I'd love to see Jurassic Park in theaters. I'm not going to spend that. I have to pivot. I already bought my ticket for Fantastic Four. I'm definitely going to see Superman. That's going to be no question. Need to see that.
Yeah.
But then something's got to give. Even Jurassic Park, which I'm dying to see. Rebirth. It's just probably not going to happen. So who am I to say go see it? But if you can, go see it. Help them out.
Yeah.
Keep good original stories alive.
Makes me miss the old school days when my dad and we used to sneak into theaters because you didn't have the assigned seats, so we would go to one movie.
Statute of limitations right now, Stevie. I don't condone this. Just kidding.
Oh, we went to Lowe's, AMC, the AMC in Boston Common. There's a huge hallway of movies, and I remember I used to just come out. I think one of my first dates with my wife, I came out and she was like, "So where do you want to go next?" And I literally looked like I was just shopping for which, you know what, this one starts in 20 minutes.
Katie told me that story.
Yeah, like this one starts in 20 minutes. You just want to like let's refill our popcorn and we'll just walk in. And she was like, "Won't we get caught?" They don't care. The people that work here don't care. They don't get paid extra by who comes to which movies. So let's just go see a movie. I remember me and my dad, we went to 4 movies in one day. The only time that I've ever tapped out of a movie was I went to Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, and I was like, goodness, this is long. And as a 8-year-old, I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Oh, man. All right. I want to make this clear. I don't condone leaving Revenge of the Sith early. I disavow. Light disavow.
I have finished the movie.
Go to movies. Oh, you did go see it. Okay, thank God. That is fantastic.
I did finish the movie, but that was like the 3rd movie of the day, and it was so long that I was just like, I can't keep up with this. And that was the end of it.
All right. Jeez. All right. Now, remember, everybody, that was Stevie. That was not Cameron Ramos's voice. Yeah, good for you. I wish I was a badass. Man, I wish I was a badass. And that's not even a badass thing to do. That's how sad I'm like, oh, I wish I was a badass. No, that's not even a badass thing to do. You just walked into another door that had a movie where the high school kid working the counter had no clue, didn't care.
Walk down a hallway.
All right, last news story. This one's quick, but extended evening hours are returning to Hollywood studios on select nights starting August 29th, 2025 for guest staying at deluxe Disney resorts, guest staying at the Swan, the Dolphin, the Swan Reserve, and Shades of Green. Extended hours will allow guests in these resorts to experience select attractions from 9 to 11 p.m. with a much reduced crowd. I don't know if I talked about it on this podcast, but for this last trip in March, I was lucky enough that the night of my night before my birthday, so I was born on the 13th, but the night of the 12th, Magic Kingdom did these extended hours from 10 to midnight. So going into my birthday on the 13th at Magic Kingdom, it was awesome. It was me and my dad. We had such a fun time. And because I know it's like, I'm really privileged. I get it. The fact that every time I stay at a Disney resort, it is always a deluxe resort because we have the DVC. So I'm very lucky, very privileged. But that's such an extra perk because that perk used to be to all resort guests, which is great, but it keeps lines even busier. For it being just deluxe resorts, it limits how many people can go, which again, I feel bad for the moderate and value resort guests that don't get to experience that. But as somebody that stays at deluxe resort, it's awesome. So the fact that that's coming to Hollywood Studios, which is my favorite park, that's really great. I won't be there for this because it's August 29th. And like I said, it's not going to be every night that they're doing this extended hours, but like every other week or so. I don't even know what the timetable is, but you can see it on the website when they're doing the extended hours. So check prices. Maybe if that's a real big selling point and Hollywood Studios is going to have those extra hours, maybe that's a selling point for you to do a deluxe, but I don't think so, honestly. If your budget is for a moderate and value resort, I can't imagine any amount of money is going to make you care to stay at Hollywood Studios 2 extra hours, especially when it comes to these resort prices. But again, if you stay at deluxe resort, this is a huge little perk because you knock out basically as much of the park as you can, because not every ride is open and operating, but a good chunk of them are. I believe there's a list for the Hollywood Studios one. I don't have it in front of me. It's definitely not going to be every ride, but it's usually a good chunk. Usually the bangers are in there, so that's pretty good.
Big Cam looking down at us from his Riviera penthouse.
It was really
deluxe
cool that
hotel.
I turned 30 in line on Tron, because as long as you get in line before midnight, they can't kick you out. And I turned 30 like a couple minutes before I rode Tron, and that was a really cool way to start my 30th birthday. It was because we stayed at Deluxe Resort, and that was pretty sick. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I feel so bad for those that can't experience this, but make sure you stay out of line because I want this all to myself. The
Listen,
evil finger temple of death.
I don't look down on anyone at all. Like I said, it's expensive, and honestly, like I said, this extra perk should not be the make or break reason why you're staying at an Art of Animation, which is all the hotels are beautiful.
Yeah.
Like if this is the make or break reason for you staying at the Boardwalk versus the Art of Animation, for example, like that's the dumbest make or break reason in the world, kind of thing. Like Art of Animation is a beautiful resort, but like just upgrading thousands of dollars for 2 extra hours of Hollywood Studios, that is not freaking worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Stay at the Art of Animation, stay at Pop Century, stay at a moderate like French Quarter, Port Orleans French Quarter, or Riverside. Like those are beautiful resorts that you can take advantage of, and these extra 2 hours aren't going to do anything for you to make you need to upgrade. But again, if you are in those deluxe, it is a cool little benefit, which is nice.
Yeah, true.
All right. Should we get to our Imagineering armchair for the Magic Kingdom theme park, my friend?
Yes. So for everybody, like we said at the beginning, this is an Imagineering episode. So as Cam has said, everybody has dreamed of creating their own ride, their own show, their own restaurant, putting their stamp on one of their favorite places. And today we are going to share some of our ideas for how we would want to put our stamp on Magic Kingdom at Disney World. And just I think we both came up with some really good ideas. So for those, we are going to be doing a show, a restaurant or eatery, and a ride. We are going to try and give as much detail as possible. Cam, as we said before, I was up late for 2 nights thinking up these ideas, brainstorming, and then eventually I kind of caught fire and I was like, oh, I think this is going to be great. So we would love to hear some of you guys' ideas if you guys have ever thought about anything like this, or if you like one of the ideas that we came up with, comment and let us know whose ride or restaurant or show would you be pumped to come see. So
and we did have a couple caveats with this, right? So we definitely, like, I know for me at least, because Stevie doesn't know what I wrote, I don't know what Stevie wrote, but we did set some ground rules. Whereas, like, in a perfect world, would I take some of the rides at Disney Tokyo Sea, like Rapunzel's Lantern Festival? Would I take that and move that into Magic Kingdom right now if I could? Absolutely. But that is literally an established ride. So we made it so you can't copy and paste a ride into Disney World, into the Magic Kingdom, but you can take elements from a certain ride as long as you're retheming it, kind of thing. So like for me, like you're going to see, I threw a Rapunzel's Lantern Festival from Tokyo Disney Sea for a reason. It's because I have a little thing I want to use for that for my ride, but it's a different property. So you can borrow things from here. You can be inspired by things from different places, whether it's the cruise ships, a different Disney park, but you couldn't do the exact copy and paste thing. The same thing, like when we get to an Epcot episode, the slam dunk, easy layup thing you could say is like, I want a Coco ride in Mexico. Well, Disneyland's literally going to get that soon, and they're getting a boat ride. So like, why would we say that? That's an easy slam dunk kind of thing. And maybe some of these ideas that we share, maybe somebody else has had them. Maybe they've been on a message board, whatever. I know for me personally, like I've never heard anybody say this idea that I have, but there's like that. There's a term like group think, collective think. Somebody maybe come up with that idea. So like if somebody did come up with this idea, and I don't credit them, credit to them, I guess. But like I honestly came up with my idea, top of my head kind of thing. And maybe we just had. There's a word for this. I'm gonna come up with it by the end of the episode. But so that was one of the caveats. Because again, in this perfect world, this is gonna be really controversial. I would get rid of Small World at Disney World. We're going to completely bulldoze that down, and that would become not bulldoze it down. We would actually just repurpose it for Rapunzel's Lantern Festival right next to her bathrooms. But that is why I'm not doing that, because that would be literally taking a copy and paste of a ride or attraction. So that went against
Yeah,
our rules.
yeah.
But let's
And
go with our restaurant. We're going to go into the more fun ones as we go because restaurant's not the most fun. Maybe it is, though, for you. We'll see. But we'll go
yeah,
restaurant, we'll go show, and we'll go ride. So, Stevie, your restaurant,
yep.
what are you doing at the Magic Kingdom?
Okay, so my restaurant, so started off the theme of my restaurant. I'm going with the movie Onward. I love that movie. And so this is going to be replacing the Friar's Nook, which is across from Mickey's PhilharMagic, which is a nice little eatery there. And I want to change that into, from the movie Onward, the Manticore's Tavern.
Okay.
So the
That fits well with
description that
Steve
I
Fantasyland. I like that.
exactly. So the description that I have written up is while your journey through World of Walt may be long, start your quest with a feast in the presence of the mighty Manticore. This mobile order location is home to the usual turkey leg, but also some specific snacks to the Manticore's Tavern. One, the Lightfoot milkshake. For those that don't know, the two main characters in Onward, their last name was Lightfoot. The Curse Crusher corn dog. The Curse Crusher was actually the sword that the Manticore in the movie trophied. And then this one I'm just calling the Wizard Staff, which would be, I think, Cam, you would love this. It is a 12-inch braided churro.
I love that. That's great.
Yes.
I think
And
that's so
so,
fun. I think the Manticore idea goes so well with Fantasyland. I'm a big D&D nerd, so I loved Onward because even though it wasn't a D&D movie, it incorporated some of those like little fantasy nerd elements into it.
yep.
I think that's great. That's a great idea to bring. And it's not like a crazy like Onward isn't the most popular Disney movie or Pixar movie kind of thing, but like to get away with getting a little credit to it in a small little like takeout window eatery kind of thing. That's perfect, I think.
And I couldn't remember if the Friar's Nook had any like a little bit of seating or whatever, but I would want
Very
this
little on the
place
outside,
to
I think.
yeah, so I would want this place to have a little bit of indoor seating, mainly because I think it would be really cool for the interior design to have wizards such as you have Mickey, you have the Sorcerer's Apprentice, some of those old school cartoons to kind of put in there to kind of add to the lore of that wizard feel. And then you also have some of the characters from Onward. I think it would work out really well. I mean, there's so many movies and shows that Disney has made that kind of fit into that wizard and magic realm. And so being able to put, whether it's just murals on the wall or maybe you have something like the official or like the first ever created Mickey's wizard hat. And this might be like a 50-year-old hat, but it's somewhere like in glass so people can kind of see it. And I think that would be really cool. So my restaurant, Onward themed, the Manticore's Tavern,
I love that.
to replace the Friar's Nook.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that. All right, my turn. So my restaurant is we're gonna take Columbia Harbor House and we're gonna do a whole reskin retheme of it. Okay.
Okay.
One of the coolest things that I've ever seen Disney do. It comes on Disney Cruise Line. It's on the Disney Treasure Ship, but it's the Haunted Mansion Parlor, which is basically a Haunted Mansion themed bar. Has a really cool backstory where it's like it's Haunted Mansion adjacent, where the whole bar theme is like with this like ghost, and it involves like a shipwreck kind of thing. Because again, you're on a Disney Cruise Line ship, so it has like that nautical theme to it. But what I want to do is I want to retheme Columbia Harbor House, and the story behind it is these restaurant owners see all these people going into this haunted mansion. Everyone's kind of afraid to go in that area, and they're like, no, look, screw this, everybody's afraid of this. There's tourists, we can make so much money. So these people, these fake restaurant owners will come up with fake names for them, are going to open up what's called the Happy Hungry Haunts. and it's going to be a counter service restaurant across the street from the Haunted Mansion, where they're going to be welcoming these spirits as well as these guests who are visiting the mansion. They're going to take advantage of all this tourism coming to their little area because of the Haunted Mansion that people are visiting. I have this idea where every like 15-20 minutes or so, some special effects will happen in certain parts of the restaurant, especially in like the dining seating areas, where maybe a portrait comes to life and you see some ghosts, or maybe the lights flicker and maybe all of a sudden you get a Pepper's ghost of a ghost hanging from a chandelier above you kind of thing, where you see one of the haunts from the Haunted Mansion making their way across the street to the Happy Hungry Haunts restaurant. So I thought that'd be kind of cool. Again, it's taking the fact that there's a Haunted Mansion bar at Disney Cruise Line. We're not doing the bar, we're doing an actual restaurant, but just having that theme and having it being with these fake characters who opened up this restaurant because they're like, look at all these tourists going into the Haunted Mansion. Like, let's take advantage of this kind of thing. I think would be really funny. So it's kind of like one of those like roadside attractions. I didn't go too much into the food, but one thing I do want to do is, I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember when Burger King? I know you don't really eat Burger King, but you had to have seen this on like Instagram or the news somewhere. But for Halloween, they had like a black burger where it was like the black bun that made everyone
I remember that.
have some not great digestive things. Whatever. We're bringing that back. So we're going to have that burger. We're going to have dirt and worms for dessert. And then we're going to print money in this restaurant, because we're going to get the Disney sickos like me who need every popcorn bucket, every sipper in the world. We are going to have once a quarter a mystery adult Happy Meal. And this adult Happy Meal will be this burger with some ghost pepper fries, and it's going to come in a collectible Haunted Mansion tombstone. So the tombstone opens up, there's your fries, there's your burger, you can close the tombstone, and every quarter it's going to be a different one. You're going to get Madame Leota, you're going to get Fred with the rock in his head. Every quarter we're going to come up with a different one. We're going to even come up with some original characters kind of thing, and we are going to milk all these Disney sickos like myself, all the Haunted Mansion fans also like myself. Every quarter, you got to come to Disney World. You need this, not a popcorn bucket, not a sipper. You need this burger basket gravestone. Now, would Disney do that because that was a little morbid to sell a tombstone? Maybe, but honestly, it would print money. Haunted Mansion fans like myself, we would do this. It would be great.
I could 100% see Disney doing this, because it also, from the beginning, from your like original, like you said, like how it comes to life, the first thing that came to mind for me was Haunted Mansion styled Rainforest Cafe like effects, to like bring it all to life. Great food. That the idea of the tombstone, I think, is absolute genius. I don't think it's dark at all, because it fits so well with the Haunted Mansion, and it goes with the theme. Great idea.
The restaurant owners, these fake, it's kind of like Chester and Hester's Dino, whatever it was called at Dinosaur Land, where like Dino Land, where it was like this carnival roadside attraction that Chester and Hester made up, which are fake characters. We're gonna do that, but like they're like, yeah, these are tourists. They went into a Haunted Mansion. Of course they want this tombstone thing. So yeah, you can get the burger and ghost fries meal for $15, or here's $30. You can get this cool little plastic tombstone that you can bring home and say, hey, I went to the Happy Hungry Haunts counter service restaurant at Magic Kingdom. So that's what I would do. That's my little re-theme of Columbia Harbor House, to get it in line with Memento Mori, which is the Haunted Mansion store, and the Haunted Mansion from across the street.
I love that. I would take it a step further, and instead of having all the tombstones relatively the same, put the fun sayings from the Haunted Mansion tombstone.
Well, so that's what it'd be. That's what it'd be. So like every other quarter, they'd be like, here's Leota's, here's Fred's with the how the tombstone is with the quotes. It would be exactly like that. But you don't know who you're gonna get that month. It'll be a big thing, especially all the annual pass holders that like they'll see an Instagram post like, oh my god, they got the Fred with a great big rock on his head tombstone just came out. We gotta get to Magic Kingdom right now and get that one. And they're gonna go head over there, and we're gonna make $30 a pop on these things.
That's a great idea. That great restaurant. Great location for it. Perfect theme to go with it. I think it would complement Haunted Mansion very well.
Thank you.
Perfect. I like that.
Let's do your show, Stevie.
All right. So my show, I know you had a hard time coming up with the show. For my show, it kind of just hit me in the face because I've been watching it since my daughter was born. And I've found it very surprising that it's not in any of the parks. Now the location might be cheating a little bit, but I think it would work out. So the theme of the show, I don't know if you've watched this before, Cam, but would be Descendants.
Mm-hmm.
The name of the show would be called Young and Wicked, and this show would take place in the newly created Villains Land.
Okay.
So the way that I have it set up, the description that I wrote out for it is sing and dance in a heart-pumping, adrenaline-filled show starring the children of Disney's most renowned villains. Each character puts on a performance with their gang, ending in a heartfelt collaboration, performing songs like Rotten to the Core, Chillin' Like a Villain, What's My Name, and Red.
Real quick, what's my name? Banger. So good.
Oh, yeah.
Continue. Sorry, continue.
My daughter loves that song, especially the remix with Red that came out for Descendant Rise of Red. I watched that movie. I think Rise of Red was the first Descendants movie that I actually watched from beginning to end. And I was like, this slaps.
I've never seen
good.
A single second. That's not true. So I've never sat down and watched the movie. I've heard a bunch of songs. They'll come up on like a Disney playlist kind of thing. Bangers, just like High School Musical level bangers. So good. Sorry, continue though. But that song is so good.
Rise of Red. It's really good. Really, really good. Rita Ora plays the Queen of Hearts in that movie. And she's amazing as it is. But I think this show would be perfect to go in Villains Land. You would probably know better than me, but I don't know if the show Unfairly Ever After has any plans on coming to Villains Land once they have it created, or if they want to keep that at Hollywood Studios. But I think this show would fit perfectly with all of the villains, because yes, you have the main villains, Maleficent, etc. But now you get a fun little show for younger kids, for preteens. That's all this fun music, kind of like the Disney Junior dance party kind of thing. But they put on a show in the middle. What I was thinking of is similar to the Lion King show at Animal Kingdom, where everybody comes together, but you have the villains, the children of the villains running the show. And I just thought that would be a really cool, that Disney has not really capitalized on the Descendants as much. I know they have a tour coming up with Zombies, which was another thing that I was thinking of. But I think this would be really perfect for Villains Land. Great show that I think all ages would love.
Yeah, no, I think that's cool. I know it's a super popular thing. Like, I feel like the last few Halloweens that we've had at our house, there's always, I think one of them is Mal and Evie. Is that one of somebody?
Yes. Yep.
Mal, whatever. There's always somebody, I don't know which one's which, but there's always somebody dressed like that. I know my sister-in-law, she's younger, way younger than me and my wife, but I think she was Mal once for Halloween, like years ago. So I know it's super popular. So I think it'd be a great show to bring. I don't know. I don't think there are any plans for it to come to for Unfairly Ever After to come to Magic Kingdom. At least they haven't really said anything. There's not even really anything besides concept art where you see the roller coaster that looks like it's Maleficent theme, and they talked about shopping and eating things. So there might be a room for a show. I don't know if they would put this in the Villains Land though. And the only reason for that is because the characters in Descendants, like the parents are in those, right?
The parents show a little bit in the Descendants movies, but it's not about them. Like, they'll have little cameos.
So I know, but the fact that they show those and they're not the same characters as the animated ones, I would think that they're going to focus on the animated ones. Like, so they want to have that cross-referencing. But I do like the idea for the show. I think you could even have it at Magic Kingdom, just not in Villains Land, so you keep the IPs kind of separate. Or, like, even in Hollywood Studios, that could go in, like, where Unfairly After is. I think it's a great plan, especially because that's a huge hit. And I love the idea of bringing more than just, like, Disney, like, animation stuff to Magic Kingdom. Yep. Bringing that Disney Channel stuff is a huge thing that they just don't capitalize on. So I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, they don't capitalize on the Disney Channel stuff other than the Disney Junior
Correct.
dance party that they do. That's
Which is
the
the
only
lamest
thing.
thing in the world now.
And they could do so much more. I mean, just thinking about the fact that they've never really fully capitalized on things like High School Musical, on all of these great Disney Channel shows that were huge hits.
Camp Rock, like
exactly.
Yeah.
And
especially
so
the
they
ones
can
that
do so much
lend
more.
the music, because Disney is music based. The ones that lend like a musical aspect to it, like you're not going to do a Cadet Kelly show, but you're going to do a High School Musical show where there's bops, like Camp Rock, Descendants. I've never seen Zombies, but I've heard that's huge too.
Zombies
Yeah.
also slaps.
I need to watch some of these
too.
new age Disney Channel original ones. But I love the idea of bringing Descendants to the theme parks. I think it's huge. I don't know if they're making any more Descendants, but if they are, then it would make total sense to just come by them. I know when I've gone to Disney World in the past, whenever there is a new Descendants movie, you see the advertisements for it everywhere on the buses and whatever, but you don't actually see anything that's graspable
like
in the theme parks besides some merch, like maybe a couple pins, maybe a t-shirt, if that. Definitely a couple pins, but nothing crazy. But
because I know
I like the idea.
Yeah, because I think as of right now there are 4 Descendants movies. I have watched from beginning to end. I've only watched the last one. And a fun Easter egg in that one that I loved was that they brought back Brandy as Cinderella, which I don't know if you have seen the Cinderella with Brandy?
Yeah, she's in the Descendants.
Yes, so
That's
she plays
Cinderella
in the last Descendants movie.
That took me a second to realize who Brandy was. No, that's very funny. That's pretty cool.
I thought it was funny. So like my wife has never seen that Cinderella, and it's so funny because we both grew up very differently. But I was pretty much, it was really one of those. I was like, so you've never seen the Black Cinderella? Like, seriously? And she was like, I didn't even know there was one. I was like, Whitney Houston as the fairy godmother is legendary. She was like, I've never seen it. I was like, I want to turn it on right now.
Yeah,
like
I've definitely seen it at least once. Like I don't think I would. I like Whitney Houston is what I remember from that movie, so that's very funny.
Yeah.
All right, my show. So I did this in a perfect world, right? I hate that Disney is replacing things for the most part. There's some things like Tom Sawyer's Island. I know people are really sad about it. Miss me with that.
Yeah.
Bulldoze that, change that over. But I hate that like there's things that like Disney didn't have to put the Monsters Inc. land where it's going, where Muppets Courtyard is. There's some place where I'm going to design a ride for Hollywood Studios down the road when we do that episode. There's a place they could have done on Monsters Inc. land. I know for a fact they could put it in there because the footprint is big enough. So I hate when Disney gets rid of things. That being said, all my stuff is getting ready things because if I'm working for Imagineering, they're not going to let me put any additional space. We're taking the original footprint. So I hate them doing this.
You have the permits. They have the permits.
They have it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give Mickey's PhilharMagic a huge facelift. It will no longer be Mickey's PhilharMagic. What we're going to do at the time of this recording, it's 2025. There's 3 years between now and 2028, which will be the 100th birthday of Mickey and Minnie Mouse. So we're 3 years away. So there's some time to develop this show. But we're going to take the Mickey's PhilharMagic, and what we're going to do is we're going to keep it as a 3D show. But instead, what we're going to do is we're going to celebrate the history of the 2 most iconic characters, I think, ever in Mickey and Minnie. So instead of Donald going through scenes of various Disney films, using like chasing after Mickey's Sorcerer's Apprentice sorcerer's hat, we're going to have Mickey and Minnie, instead of being like the sorcerer's hat out of control, Mickey and Minnie are going to use the sorcerer's hat and use the magic to explore their past in celebration of their birthday. So they're going to go use the hat to go through some of their most like famous cartoons. And some of these aren't the most famous, but the way I'm trying to do this is I want like a current age Mickey. Not the way the new shorts look, because I have a thing with that, but like just how you think of Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse when you're meeting him in the park, like that, those outfits. I want those character designs to go into the cartoons with how they were designed and how they looked in like 1928. So, for example, they're going to stop by and participate in Steamboat Willie, but so they're going to be in their current animation style next to the old Mickey animation style. We're going to do that for the Steamboat Willie. the band concert, the Sorcerer's Apprentice, the Prince and the Pauper, and New York Weenie. So those are all really distinctive artwork styles for Mickey, where you get the black and white, you get the colored band concert, but Mickey has like the white face as opposed to like the pale face that he has now, the Sorcerer's Apprentice. And even though Minnie isn't in some of these things, I really want Minnie included with it, because every time they do a birthday celebration for Mickey, Minnie just gets the shaft. Minnie was her first cartoon. Technically, both their first cartoon was plain crazy, but the first animated talking one that was premiered was Steamboat Willie in 1928. Minnie gets the shaft. I want her to get some shine in this too. So even if Minnie's not in some of these movies or whatever, she's getting some love in there too. She's getting to explore these memories. And it'll culminate with this big final scene where they come out into present day, and all of the current Disney characters are going to be there to sing happy birthday to Mickey when they turn 100. So that show will only be available for a year, but after 2028, once that year is up on their birthday and the mice turn 101, we're going to keep the same show, but instead of like a happy birthday scene at the end, we'll just change it to something where maybe this is like an original song where everybody's just like, oh, great job going through the history of Mickey Mouse. But basically, they're going to, like I said, they're going to go into the cartoons and different hijinks is going to happen. So instead of Steamboat Willie taking place exactly how it is, we'll have Mickey and Minnie in the Steamboat Willie cartoon together with Mickey and Minnie current day, and they're getting the best of Pete in that one kind of thing. So they're going to mess up some of the scenes and be a part of it, and it's going to be little hijinks and stuff like that. Just like how Phil and Magic, like Donald Duck was never there when Aladdin and Jasmine sang A Whole New World, but now he's a part of that song now because of Phil and Magic. So we're going to do something like that. But again, Mickey and Minnie are going to be in control of the hat, and I think it'll be a lot of fun, a great way to celebrate Mickey and Minnie. I'm very happy that Mickey and Minnie have a ride now, because the fact that the most famous cartoon character of all time didn't have any representation at Disney World besides meeting him and stuff like that sucked. So I'm glad he has a ride, and now we're going to do this show. And Mickey's Film Magic, to me, it's just getting a little bland. I know they added a Coco scene a couple years ago, but it hurts me to say this because I love Donald Duck, but let's give Mickey and Minnie some shine. It'll be a perfect way to spruce this up for their 100th birthday, so you can have that really cool exclusive experience. But then, like I said, you can continue the legacy after, where they're just not doing the happy birthday song at the end. But I thought that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, I like that. I'm going to start by saying add Mickey's PhilharMagic to the to my to-do list.
Okay, so do this. Go, Stevie, go, and then we'll start construction. Jesus. All right, I think there's going to be an episode, Stevie. I'm putting this out right now. You're going in 2026. I know you're not booked, but you're going. We're going to have an episode where we make a at least like a 5 bucket list items that you have not done at all at Disney World, and you're going to have that. We're going to do a whole episode of you reporting back on these things. Like one of them, which I cannot believe I just found this out until this past week when I was talking to wife. You guys have never seen Fantasmic, and that hurts me. That hurts me. It's my favorite thing in Disney World show wise. That's going up there. But regardless, yeah. So we'll add Mickey PhilharMagic for this before we renovate it for my thing. I don't have a name for this. I never came up with one. But Mickey and Minnie's Adventures do blah 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 whatever. I don't know. Yeah, maybe if your dad is there around the same time, maybe he can make sure I get all this stuff done. Listen, I'm giving him the list. He's gonna check it off and report back to me via text. But that's my show. I do like this. Like I said, I haven't been to the original yet, or at least I don't remember it. But just having a celebration of Mickey and Minnie, which that is very important. The and Minnie part, I think, is great. Something that's special for their birthday, and then could just kind of go forward. I think this. Yeah, I just think it's a great idea. Yes, they have their ride, which has probably one of the catchiest songs in Disney history. Because way better than Small World.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rob Sherman, but sorry, Sherman Brothers, what you say.
Once that song gets stuck in your head, it's there for the month. It doesn't leave. When I scroll through Instagram and there's a reel with that playing in the background, I know my whole day is shot. It's going to be
always
head.
Suggested whenever you're doing like a Disney theme reel. That's always one that's suggested. It's like happily ever after, and then nothing can stop us now.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
I think "Can Stop Us Now" is just constant. But I do like this idea because Minnie doesn't get a lot of shine. Minnie is always in the shadow of Mickey, and it would be nice to see them both going on an adventure together, something that celebrates both of them. I think that is definitely key, something great to have.
Yeah. And you know Disney's going to go all out. Well, I know they're going to go all out for the 100th birthday of Mickey Minnie because it's all been started with the mouse, so they're going to go after it. They did a good little chunk of things for their 90th birthday, mostly Mickey. They kind of ignored Minnie, but like Mickey and Minnie had special costumes, like birthday costumes. They sell 90th birthday merch for Mickey. They had a freaking sipper of Mickey with like a birthday hat on, everything. So I think they're going to go all out for 100th, especially at Disney World, because I do think they understand that fans were a little disappointed with how the 50th anniversary of Disney World was treated. And granted, that a lot of that was because it was pandemic related, where budget cuts would happen. So I think they're going to do something really special for Mickey's 100th birthday, because at the end of the day, Walt said it best. This was all started with a mouse. And it was all started with two mice, Mickey and Minnie. So I think something for the birthday would be really cool.
Yeah.
And this would be a way to plus it, where not only here's some merch, here's a show. We don't have to create a whole new ride, but here's a show that goes along with this big celebration we're doing across the Disney theme parks throughout the world for Mickey and Minnie.
Can you add Oswald to this show? I love Oswald. I don't know.
We can throw Oswald in there at the end, saying happy birthday to him. He's owned by Disney.
I love Oswald.
I think there's, gun to my head, I think they're making an Oswald movie.
Are they? Oh, I mean, I was so happy.
Positive Jon Favreau is like a part of this Oswald movie.
That would be awesome, because I loved that that Oswald was in Epic Mickey. I love that. But yeah, that'll be perfect.
I'm like Jon Favreau. Oswald the Lucky Rabbit TV series, excuse me, from Jon Favreau in the works at Disney Plus. This was an article from March 7th, 2025. So Jon Favreau, who directed Iron Man, he's Happy Hogan in those movies. He was a big part of The Mandalorian on Disney Plus, which was like Disney Plus's first big dive into things. Oswald the Lucky Rabbit TV show. That'll be very cool. So it's gonna be animation / live action hybrid, kind of a la Roger Rabbit. So that'll be kind of fun. But anyway, let's wrap this up. Let's talk about your ride, Steve, that you're gonna do, because I think this is where we had the big meat and potatoes.
Yes. All right. So my ride, I did some deep dive into movies to see what movie isn't getting any shine in the parks. And I think this is not just like a one-off movie. This movie had a sequel. It is a great movie. So the theme of my ride is Wreck-It Ralph. And the name of my ride is Turbo's Glitch Track.
Okay. Where's this going, CB? I'm going to guess.
So this is going in Tomorrowland.
Of course.
And it is replacing Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress.
Stevie.
Disneyland's already closed there.
Stevie.
This one can go.
Stevie. No.
It's time.
Oh, Stevie, I'm going to fire you from the Imagineering team. That's so messed up. Continue. Oh, Stevie, I thought you're not going to close the Tomorrowland Speedway. You're going to close Carousel of Progress.
Carousel of Progress will go because I'm going to need the space for the way that this ride is.
Have you even done it?
I have.
Oh,
I have.
I don't even think fantastic. That's not a crazy question to ask. Oh, Stevie, continue. That's disgusting.
So this is going to be a 4D motion simulator ride, similar to the Avatar Flight of Passage. So riders will race through multiple game maps, starting in Sugar Rush, which was Vanellope's game, glitching into Hero's Duty after an attack from Turbo, aka King Candy, and escaping his Cybug army, ending safely at Fix-It Felix, all while being guided by Ralph and Vanellope Von Schweetz. So the ride vehicle itself, what I was trying to think of, like how, because obviously it wouldn't be like a motorcycle. I wanted it to be a racer candy cart like in Sugar Rush. So it would resemble something similar to the Simpsons ride at Universal, their 4D ride. So holding about 6 passengers, 2 rows of 3. It would look like the candy cart. from Sugar Rush, and it would be, again, you get the glasses, you get the movement, and I think it would be really cool. But when I was looking at the map, I thought this would be perfect for Tomorrowland, kind of that computer style that's going on. And when I looked at everything else going on, I thought I need a building to put this in. And Carousel of Progress, I was looking at that and I was like, do I want to get rid of it? Do I want to get rid of it? Do I want to keep it around? And then I looked and I saw, wait, Disneyland already got rid of their Carousel of Progress. So
that's why you keep it as an exclusive. You're a monster.
No. They got rid of their Carousel of Progress. We can those old animatronics, all they can go. It is time for something new. 4D ride. Wreck-It Ralph is gonna wreck it, and I'm sorry, but Felix ain't fixing the Carousel of Progress.
Damn. I will say I love the ride idea. I think the ride idea is great. If you can put it anywhere else in Tomorrowland, let's do it. I'll green stamp this right now. But my God, you're evil for my poor people at the Carousel of Progress. Like, what, we're gonna go see like Fix It Felix over like the burning turkey smell? Come on, what are we doing, Stevie? No, it's a great ride idea. Have you ever been to Universal or Islands of Adventure?
Yes, I have.
Have you rode the Amazing Spider-Man ride?
I think so. I think I have.
I think this in that ride sequence would be sick. Would be so freaking cool. But I love this idea. Wreck-It Ralph screams Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland needs the biggest facelift in the world. The fact that you have Tron, which is video game related, bringing in Wreck-It Ralph is a perfect idea. I just despise where Tomorrowland you're putting this, but I respect you. The idea is straight up awesome. I love the idea, but oh man, that hurt my heart to hear you say that.
Yeah,
I thought you were saying, "Oh, where's Stitch's Greatest Secrets?" Yeah, absolutely. Let's put it there.
No, Carousel of Progress. It's been there long enough. It's time to put something new. So for all of those, Disney fanatics, if you have an issue, you can cry me a river. But I believe that'll be Pistons Peak now. So don't really care.
I'd be okay with this if they moved. I'd be okay with this. I'll co-sign this, and this is because I have something that I want moved to my part too. Carousel of Progress would fit beautifully in with Epcot because of that was the experimental prototype community tomorrow. Let's pick it up, as Patrick Starr would say. But why don't we pick it up and put it over there? We're gonna do that, and that gives you space. Now we're happy. We still keep it, but you get your Wreck-It Ralph.
I'm fine if you want to move it. I just don't want it here. Sure, right here fine. Is going to be Turbo's glitch track.
Okay,
and
I do like that a lot. That's a great idea.
The carousel's got to go. I love 4D rides. I think they're awesome. The Flight of Passage, when I wrote it, I thought I thought it was so cool. So to have something that kind of gives, and now that I'm thinking about it, the Spider-Man ride at Universal, where you're kind of like riding through the halls, kind of a thing. I don't think it would be as great because I want things to move. I don't want it to, the Spider-Man ride kind of feels like one of those. It always reminds me of that setup from Men in Black when they're in the shooting range.
Sure. I just think the Simpsons ride makes people really sick. So that's my only concern.
I understand that. And we'll put that on the the little blue sign on the outside. So maybe this is for everybody.
Wreck-It Ralph Tomorrowland. Yes, do it. Yes. This ride, whatever vehicle comes into, the concept is perfect. I love that Turbo's chasing you. Bring that in from the first movie. The second movie's fine. The only thing saving the second movie is the princess scene. Everything else
I didn't want to bring in the second movie. I figured let's stick with the bread and butter, the first movie. The second movie where it goes to the internet, there's so much more going on. Let's stick to the main characters. And I just thought it was weird that Wreck-It Ralph did well. And you gave it a sequel, but there's no representation in the parks. I think there might be, you might be able to find some T-shirts in like Hollywood studios, maybe, but there really isn't anything Wreck-It Ralph around except for maybe World of Disney. I think for a little while they had a Wreck-It Ralph Lego build at Disney Springs.
Yeah, but that's not like a Disney park. Like you could get that up in like Braintree, you know? Yeah, but I get what you're saying. Yeah,
exactly.
They didn't really. I know they have like a bus wrap because Disney loves their bus wraps.
Yes,
Ralph. Yeah. I think it's technically Ralph Breaks the Internet, but like, yeah, no, he's not really anything, and it's a prime IP to put in like ride form, honestly.
Yeah, I think Wreck-It Ralph deserves a ride, and let it be a ride that blows people's socks off. People will line up to go to Tomorrowland to ride this Wreck-It Ralph ride. 4D coaster, getting chased by Turbo. It might not. The only thing that I thought of is it might not be as suitable for younger kids, just because I know those side bugs can be scary.
Mm-hmm.
Close their eyes. And Turbo can also be a little creepy as well, especially when he changed from King Candy to Turbo.
Yeah,
but that I love the idea of, we're on the everything to start off perfectly. We're on our racetrack in Sugar Rush, and we're just gonna have a fun ride. And then we have one of those Vanellope glitches, and all of a sudden we're in a new game.
Yeah,
and Turbo is trying to get at us, kind of like how in the Simpsons ride you have Sideshow Bob who's trying to get you. Yeah, and I think it would be this really cool thing, and you end off in a nice wholesome place. Fix-It Felix game. You get to see all the main characters there. I think that would be perfect.
Very cool. Love it. So, Stevie, I know you brought up retheming the Friar's Nook to the Manticore Lair. Sorry, that's not happening because my ride is going to take a big footprint. I have a caveat with one of these things I'm taking out of here, but basically I'm going to repurpose the entire building at Magic Kingdom in Fantasyland that makes up Fairy Tale Princess Hall, Sir Mickey's, Winnie the Pooh, Cheshire Cafe, and the Friar's Nook. I'm taking that whole building over. Okay.
You gave me stuff about Carousel of Progress, but you're willing to throw your boy Pooh under the bus?
What I say, Stevie, I have a caveat. The caveat, and I'm not going to include this in my Epcot Imagineering episode. There's a ride. I think it's in Tokyo or Shanghai, one of the Asian Disney parks, called Pooh's Honey Hunt. It's freaking awesome. I've watched this ride view so many times. It's because we're giving Pooh a plus. We're moving him over to the UK Pavilion in my head, and we're doing Pooh's Honey Hunt. We're not doing that. But that I didn't do Pooh's Honey Hunt because that would go against the spirit of creating an original thing. So we are going to copy and paste Pooh's Honey Hunt to the UK Pavilion in Epcot, and that's why we're getting rid of it in Magic Kingdom here. So that's my caveat. We're not getting rid of Pooh. We're just putting him in the UK Pavilion and giving him an even better ride because the current ride, it's not great. We're taking that whole building over, okay? And we are going to create Cinderella's storybook adventure, okay? Cinderella has her castle right there, okay? When you go at the back of the castle, you're right there at Fairy Tale Hall, okay? Or, sorry, Mickey's, excuse me, right there. Fairy Tale Hall's right there on the right-hand side. What better way to celebrate Cinderella and not just her castle, but let's give her a ride, okay? And we're not going to just give her just a random boring dark ride where the animatronics move like 2 inches waving. No, we're giving her a full freaking thing. It's going to be sick. So, like I said, it's called Cinderella's Storybook Adventure. This ride will have guest boarding horse-drawn pumpkin carriages using a trackless ride system, taking them through the story of Cinderella. They'll be these will all use A1000 animatronics, which if you don't know what that is, if you're not theme park sicko like I am, like they're just the animatronics that are like look lifelike. So if you look at like Tiana's Bayou Adventure, that's an A1000 animatronic. If you look at the Navi shaman in the Navi's River Journey, that kind of thing. These are not the animatronics that are, Hondo Ohnaka is like one of the best ones, that one too, in Smuggler's Run. These are not the animatronics like Pooh that his butt is moving in and out of a honey tree. No, these are the legit ones that make it look like a human being is there kind of thing.
These are not Carousel of Progress
definitely
animatronics.
Not at all. But when we move it at Epcot, they're going to be a 1000 animatronics. But anyway, the ride will start off. It's going to be trackless ride system, you're gonna have an animatronic, A1000 animatronic of Cinderella's fairy godmother. She's gonna be standing on a platform higher above you, and there's gonna be a little storybook at the far wall of the room underneath her. And she's gonna be like, "Oh my God, look at this amazing castle! Cinderella's had such a happy life. Oh my God, you need to hear the story of how she got here." And there's gonna be this really cool effect where this book that is gonna look like maybe 2 or 3 times the size of a regular standing storybook is going to have a big special effect, where it gets larger and larger to the point that it becomes a door that you enter through. This is going to use a very similar special effect that's used for the magic mirror that transports guests to Belle's castle in the Enchanted Tales with Belle show at Magic Kingdom. It's a really cool effect. It seems like a simple effect, especially once you know what's happening with it. But we're going to do this where it's going to be this little tiny thing. And a lot of the rides in Fantasyland, you're just going through the story, and you're doing that here, but it's with a purpose where the fairy godmother is using her powers to show you the story. So Cinderella is already the princess. Here's how we got here, kind of thing. And with the animatronics, it's going to be really cool. You're going to be basically like, I'm imagining 6 to 8 of these horse-drawn carriages standing around this area where this awesome fairy godmother animatronic is up there doing this magic, and then the doors open, and one by one these carriages go through with the guests to see the scenes, basically. Okay. There will be a few screens on this ride where it'll be the fairy godmother popping up magically to give like some backstory and narrate the story a little bit. Think of it kind of like as if she's a ghost only talking to you while you're on the ride. But we're going to use these really cool animatronics. Again, these are the ones that are going to be used in like Hanonaka in Rise of the Resistance, or not Rise of the Resistance, but all those are A1000 animatronics too. But in Smuggler's Run, same thing as used in Rapunzel's Lantern Festival and Elsa and Anna's Frozen Journey in Tokyo Disney Sea. We're not using projection map faces like there are in Frozen Adventure, Frozen Ever After, excuse me, like at Epcot, because those look terrible. They're so bad. They're so ugly. I hate those things. These are going to be the good animatronics. But we're going to get to see some of the scenes. So we're going to see Cinderella singing a dream is what your heart makes. We're going to see her doing her chores, getting picked on by her stepsisters, Anastasia and Gisela. The show-stopping scene is going to be the fairy godmother's visit and their transformation, which I'll talk about in a second. But you'll see her running away from the ball. You'll see the prince putting the slipper on her foot, and then her getting happily ever after married, and then we'll see that same effect that got you into the book. You'll get out of the book, and now you're in Fantasyland, and there's Cinderella's castle. She's married. Now you just saw her story. The big show-stopping scene that I kind of mentioned is the fairy godmother scene where she does the transformation. If anybody has ever seen ride video, I believe it's Tokyo Disneyland, but it's the Enchanted Tale of Beauty and the Beast. There's an effect in there it's incredible where they have this beast. I don't know if you call it an animatronic, but a beast, whatever. And it has this effect where it actually transforms. And I don't know if it's Pepper Ghost. I don't know how it works, but you don't see the beast anymore. You just see this awesome animatronic of Prince Adam.
It like spins, right?
It spins and then completely disappears, and then like Prince Adam looks like kind of like Jesus, honestly, just like hair flowing, and he like comes down to the ground like a ghost kind of thing. That's what we're doing, but it's gonna be some sort of effect where bippity boppity boo happens, and Cinderella's rags disappears, and you're seeing this beautiful, glowing, lit up dress. It's gonna be really cool. That's gonna be the show-stopping scene. So we're bringing in that awesome effect from Enchanted Tale of Beauty and the Beast from Tokyo. Okay. We're bringing it here to the Magic Kingdom, and I think it's appropriate that we're bringing it here to Magic Kingdom for Cinderella because you're literally going to a Magic Kingdom with her castle in it. I think this ride's going to take a big footprint, which is why I didn't just take. I was going to just do Winnie the Pooh, but then when I was thinking about it, if you have these the trackless ride system, I don't want them all going in a line. I want them going in crazy directions and like surrounding the space and really eating those scenes up, kind of thing. Just like how if you see that Enchanted Tale with Beauty and the Beast, you're in like a bowl, like a soup bowl kind of thing. And there's like the scene where Be Our Guest, and you have all the bowls are in a circle around the room, so you're at different points, kind of thing. Same way with Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. You're not just on a straight line train; you're all over the place. I want the carriages to be able to be a little independent of each other and take up space in these rooms. So you need a lot of the room. So that's why I took more than just the Winnie the Pooh facade or track. We're going to use a lot more space. We are going to add a little mini shopping for Cinderella there, maybe some Cinderella Castle Park exclusive stuff from Magic Kingdom. We are going to use if rumor allows, I want to use Princess Fairy Tale Hall to make that still keep it a character meet and greet, but you're going to get to meet Cinderella, Prince Charming, Fairy Godmother, Gus, and Jack. I really want a Gus and Jack character meet and greet. I know they have those costumes. I love Gus.
Yeah.
You can't see them, but when McDonald's did the 100th anniversary Disney toys, back for the 100th anniversary. Oh no, it was for the 50th anniversary of Disney World. One of the first ones I got, I didn't have Kylie at the time. I would go buy the Happy Meals for these Disney World collectible toys because like I had that back in 2002 when they did the 100th anniversary of Walt Disney's birth. And I got Gus, and I squealed like a 5-year-old would when they got this toy, but I was 25. Doesn't matter. I love Gus. I want him there. But that's my thing. So we're gonna plus this ride. Pooh still love my boy. Love you so much, Pooh. You're gonna get Pooh's Honey Hunt in Epcot, but we're gonna get Cinderella ride here. I believe the first ever Cinderella dark ride ever in any Disney park, at least from what I know. I'm pretty sure that is true. If I'm not wrong, my bad. Definitely not at Disney World, at least, or Disneyland. But we're gonna give her that spot again, and it goes beautifully with the theme of the castle. But I really want to make sure it's the theme of like, hey, the story already happened. Let's use some magic to see how it happened, kind of thing. Because if we're like, oh, let's see what happens to this poor girl getting tormented. Well, why is there a castle right behind me? So it adds to that whole storytelling that this has happened. Here we go. We're going backwards, but we're going to do it through a storybook because that's what Fantasyland should be all about.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I mostly wanted that effect. I just want that Beast effect, but I didn't want to copy and paste that ride from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool, giving more in depth to Cinderella. Because I'm trying to think, when I think of like as far as like what's at Disney World, you literally have
a giant castle.
Yeah, you have the castle. She's got the fountain.
Yep, she has a couple meet and greets at certain parks. She has one at Magic Kingdom. She has one at Epcot, I believe. I believe that's true.
It would be interesting, to give her a ride.
Let's tell her story. Besides just the beautiful, the areas are beautiful, the mosaics that are in Cinderella's castle when you can walk through it. I mean, she does have a restaurant too, the Cinderella's Royal Table, which is a great restaurant in the castle. Excuse me, but I want the ride too.
I mean, she is arguably the most famous princess under the Disney umbrella, I would say.
She's up there.
So she's definitely up there. So I think
at least the classic
ride like this. Yeah, I think a ride like this would definitely bring in a lot of people.
I do want to let the people know. In my heart of hearts, I tried really hard to getting a new ride in Tomorrowland, and I had a lot of ideas for that because Tomorrowland needs a huge overhaul. But every time I tried doing it, like I was really just trying to get rid of Stitch's Great Escape, which nothing to get rid of. It's an empty show building, or Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, because like nothing. I think that's going to leave once Monstropolis opens at Hollywood Studios. I tried so hard getting rid of the Tomorrowland Transit Authority, whatever those little cars are called now. I forget the Speedway, Tomorrowland Speedway. That's what it's called. But every time I did it, I couldn't figure out. Tron really screwed things up for that area where the Speedway is, because I couldn't build what I wanted to there. I do have an idea that I was going to put in that Tomorrowland Speedway for Tomorrowland. I am going to talk about that when I talk about Epcot, because I'm now moving it over there because I have a different idea that I still think could work with Epcot. And we'll get to that soon, but in a future episode. I tried really hard to get Tomorrowland because that needs a revamp, but honestly, at this point, that doesn't need an Imagineer. That needs Jesus and every bit of money to revamp Tomorrowland, which is a terrible, terrible part of the park besides Space Mountain and Tron. And as much as I was giving Stevie guff for getting rid of Carousel of Progress, that area needs love, especially. I mean, you have literally a sign that says Tomorrowland, and when you walk underneath that sign, you have one defunct attraction and one defunct show or soon to be defunct show, because there's no way they're keeping the Laugh Floor there. There's zero chance. So Tomorrowland needs a facelift.
Yeah, there's definitely so much more that you could utilize with Tomorrowland. I mean, the Carousel of Progress hasn't had any progress in probably 40 years. So
but instead, I took out some Fantasyland stuff. But again, it was selfish. I want my boy Pooh to have Pooh's Honey Hunt, because I would love it to live in a world where I go visit every Disney theme park. I don't see myself getting over to the Asian parks. It's too expensive. So I don't know if I'll ever get to experience Pooh Honey Hunt besides YouTube ride-through videos. So we'll get an Epcot, but Cinderella ride, that's my idea. But this was fun. I literally had so much fun, not just writing about this, but talking through the ideas with you. And obviously, I gave you a little crap with getting rid of my carousel progress. But no, that ride's a great idea. I had fun doing this. Like you said, Stevie, I definitely want to know what ideas other people have. I would love to hear people's ideas for fixing up Tomorrowland, especially because that is a huge area in the park that needs love. But let us know what you thought of our ideas. We'd love to hear that as well.
Yeah, definitely. Let us know your ideas. If you have any ideas for the park, let us know if there was any of our ideas. Would you want to eat at one of our restaurants? Would you want to come to one of our shows? Which one of our rides would you be super excited to ride? We definitely want to know. And yeah, this was a really fun topic because we got to be like really creative. And yeah, I mean, we are the ones that get on these rides. We are the ones that walk through the park. So we know the areas where it's like, you know what, like you said, Tomorrowland, it can use some work. We can really step this up. This show, we can give this a facelift. We can ramp things up a little bit. I think that's perfect. And I will end it by saying, Disney, if you're listening, this is time-stamped, and I want my cut. If you take any of these ideas, you will get an angry email, and I will be waiting for my check.
Here's the thing. If they did a Cinderella ride, I wouldn't think anything of it. If they take my Mickey and Minnie 100th birthday show idea, because like anyone can come up with a Cinderella dock ride. I don't think anybody there is thinking about the 100th birthday at this point right now. Maybe they are merch-wise, because again, Disney loves their printing money with merch, because you get the Disney fans like me who need every bit of merch. If I see that one and they go through these old Mickey cartoons, I'm going to scream. I'm also going to go to the park and support it. This is my idea. Here you go. This is coming out, June 1st? Or July 1st, 2025? Yep. Listen to Dadventures Around the Kingdom. We had it here first. But yeah.
Going straight to guest services and demanding my reprimations.
But yeah, so yeah, I think that's it for this week's episode. This episode coming out July 1st. Big happy birthday, second happy birthday to Jazzy J. Super pumped for you guys. And that's the magic of being dad, right? Yeah, see these milestones, seeing them grow up, and we're turning these kids into Mouseketeers between Kylie and Jazz, which is really cool.
Yes. Happy birthday, Jazzy. I love you so much. And for everybody listening, thank you guys for coming again. Like we said, we will have more Imagineering episodes. And I hope you all love this. Remember to like, follow, share, subscribe, leave a review, leave a comment. We love hearing from you guys. You guys make all this possible.
One programming note. Next week's episode, when you hear this, the following week's episode, is going to be pre-recorded. We're going to have a couple pre-recorded episodes this summer because vacation. So if something big Disney breaking news comes out, you're probably not going to hear on the podcast next week about it. But we'll get it out there eventually. Don't you worry about that. But little programming note, we are going to do a couple canned episodes. One will come out next week and one will come out in August when I'm on vacation. Probably won't come out later in July when I'm on vacation again. But last programming note, just wanted to get that one out there.
Yeah, no problem. And with that, you all have a lovely, magical day. And thank you for listening to Dadventures Around the Kingdom.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Dadventures Around the Kingdom. You can listen to the pod on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. You can also find us on our Instagram at Dadventures Around the Kingdom. If you have any ideas for future episode topics you'd like to hear, be sure to DM us on Instagram or email us at datkpod@gmail.com. Again, that's datkpod@gmail.com. If you want to follow our host Stevie on Instagram, you can do that at StevieJanko. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can also do that by following at Magical Vacays by Cam. That's my travel agency page if you're interested in booking Walt Disney World or Disneyland vacation at no additional cost to you. Feel free to DM me on there so we can definitely talk and I can get you a free, no obligation quote. Again, thanks for listening to Dadventures Around the Kingdom. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.